Live at 6, this is 13 News Now.
Funding Virginia Beach schools. Tonight, the first look at how leaders want to spend $770 million. It's Wednesday night. Good evening to you. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Regina Mobley. What's in the superintendent's proposed budget that could affect thousands of families? At issue, full-day kindergarten, teacher pay, and class size. Already, it's drawing sharp reaction. Allie Weatherton has the newly released budget. She's live at Malibu Elementary School with the impact one of those items will have.
Well, David, the full-day schedule would give students about 3 more hours inside the classroom to focus on their studies. And for teachers, it would give them more time to be one-on-one with the students. Some kindergartners could soon spend more time in the classroom.
I'm going to make it harder this time. Are you ready?
Chief Academic Officer Amy Cashwell says the proposal to add full-day kindergarten to 12 Virginia Beach schools could benefit both students and teachers.
A lot of times in our half-day programs, while they want to meet with every student individually every day or in small groups, that can be challenging. So they're providing some whole group lessons and then, of course, utilizing the kindergarten teacher assistants.
Cashwell says the exact schools haven't been chosen just yet. A lot of research goes into choosing them, like benchmark and socioeconomic data.
We'll be in discussion, obviously, with our school board.
Last year, Virginia Beach Public Schools had 11 elementary schools start the full-day kindergarten program, and Cashwell says it's going very well. She says they want to keep moving forward, eventually having all kindergarten classes in Virginia Beach a full day.
A lot of times in our half-day programs, while they want to meet with every student individually every day or in small groups, that can be challenging. So they're providing some whole group lessons and then, of course, utilizing the kindergarten teacher assistants.
Many parents love the idea. They say it makes life easier because the half-day program is hard on working moms and dads.
You have to be there at the bus stop to pick up your child. You can't just have the child just go home.
Now, the school board will have several meetings to discuss this proposal. Live in Virginia Beach, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
Last fall, Chesapeake schools added full-day kindergarten to 3 schools. A total of 10 Chesapeake schools offer the program to parents.
A mother's anguish after tragedy at the oceanfront.
I reached out to the hotel and haven't gotten anything back from them.
Her daughter drowned at the oceanfront. The nightmare started last weekend. Her daughter went underwater during a pool party at the Spring Hill Suites on Atlantic Avenue. Medics could not revive the girl. Tonight, the mother is demanding answers to find out what went wrong. She sat down with Megan Puryear in a story you'll see only on 13 News Now.
When I bury my daughter, I would like to know everything that happened to her.
It's been 5 days since Deshelle Speller's daughter, Skylar Alexander, drowned at the oceanfront Spring Hill Suites Marriott. But this mother says she still doesn't have answers.
They're waiting for her autopsy to come back. So it's just, it's still a mystery to us of what happened to our baby.
Skylar was at her cousin's indoor pool party at the hotel. Speller got a call around 8 o'clock that night that her daughter had drowned.
Losing a child is like losing part of you. It's nothing that can fill that void.
Speller hasn't heard from hotel officials, so we went to ask questions.
Are you guys releasing a statement? Are you guys planning on releasing a statement? Anything involving that for the family?
I can't comment on anything right now. Since I know you're a reporter, I actually have to ask you to leave the property.
They had no statement on what happened that night.
I reached out to the hotel and haven't gotten anything back from them. All I want to know if there's a camera there or anything.
I reached out to the Virginia Beach Police Department, and they say there is no footage of the drowning incident at the Marriott Hotel. While she waits for answers, Speller says no one will forget her Skylar.
My baby had a big personality. She can walk in a room and you're going to know she's there. She was her own star.
Megan Puryear, 13 News Now.
Developing right now in Williamsburg, a freight train hits a pedestrian. This happened around 2:30 on York Street. Police tell us the person is a male. We don't know his age. We are still waiting for an update on the severity of his injuries. Stay with us as we learn more. After years of concern about safety, dog owners in the Holly Beach subdivision now have to keep their pets on leashes if their dog is
off their properties. Several residents went around with a petition to get their neighborhood to fall under the county's leash law. They got in touch with 103 of the 174 homes in the subdivision. 94 homes signed in favor of having the leash law in their neighborhood. 3 were against the law and 6 were undecided. Earlier this week, the Board of Supervisors approved to add Holly Beach to the county's ordinance.
We can't walk down the street, we can't walk and get our mail, we can't go to the bus stop. There's always a dog out.
We were thrilled that the board saw and understood that, yes, this was a big concern and it was needed to be in place.
Animal control officials say the change should take effect by July. Maybe there will be a shutdown and maybe there won't. Looking live at our nation's capital tonight with 6 hours to go until government funding runs out.
Under the Dome, debate continues over a compromise struck by leaders in the Senate last night. It could mean a budgetary breakthrough or a big boost for Hampton Roads. Mike Gooding has the details.
Well, Regina and David, this would be enormous. The bipartisan Senate budget deal would mean millions of dollars in new defense spending that would ripple throughout our local economy here. Or the whole thing.
It's excellent news for Hampton Roads. We'll see an immediate bump in defense spending this fiscal year, and of that bump, we would expect several $billion to land in Hampton Roads over the next 6 months.
After years of temporary spending measures, the bipartisan deal hammered out by Senate leaders would result in an actual 2-year budget. That includes a massive increase to the military by increasing spending caps by 21%. President Trump is now voicing support for the deal, tweeting, "It ends the dangerous sequester and gives Secretary Mattis what he needs to keep America great." ODU economics professor Bob McNabb says the Hampton Roads economy would benefit greatly.
The immediate effect would be a lift in economic activity. So we'd see more people hired, we'd see more ships being repaired, we'd see more aircraft being repaired, more activity overall for the defense sector in Hampton Roads.
But in the House, conservative Republicans and liberal Democrats have balked at the deal. And if there are enough no votes there, the whole deal could fall apart, which McNabb says would be a very bad thing for the Hampton Roads economy.
The last partial shutdown in Hampton Roads, even though it was over a weekend, we still estimate that it cost Hampton Roads up to $100 million in economic activity. These are not small events when the government shuts down for Hampton Roads.
And a new bump in the road at this hour. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is now holding up the Senate vote over his concerns about the spending caps. Senate rules require that all members must agree to hold the vote in order to proceed. Without that consent, the vote will now not take place until at least 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. Reporting live, Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.
New at 6, the American-led coalition bombs government-backed troops in eastern Syria.
Media reports claim around 100 people were killed. The U.S. says the actions are in self-defense. In Washington today, Senator Tim Kaine used this news to renew his call for a debate and vote for a new authorization for the use of military force.
Both the Obama and Trump administrations have asserted that that authorization also enables military action against ISIS. There's argument about that since ISIS wasn't formed until 2 years after the 9/11 attacks, but there's argument there. But I've never heard it asserted that the 9/11 authorization gives any kind of legal authority to take military action against the Syrian government.
In a statement, Kaine adds, quote, "The administration owes Congress and the American public answers on the goals of this mission," end quote.